Yo, welcome to the podcast. Real name Kevin Mack. Episode number 3. I gotta figure this out. So I did the first 2 episodes last week, and nobody's complaining. I don't think anybody cares right now, but I care, and I feel like I've been gone too long. Like I said, nobody cares, nobody's complaining, but I just was like, maybe I need to stretch each episode out a little bit more because this weekend went past. But then again, nobody's gonna be watching me on the weekend. They're gonna be outside trying to watch the speed limit because they drunk while they driving. You know what I'm saying? So maybe everything will be all right after all. But I don't know. I gotta make myself feel more comfortable with this. Anyway, what's going on, everybody? This is real name Kevin Mack. Welcome back to the podcast. Still ain't came up with no name yet. One of my dogs keep telling me to do. Let me tell you something. I don't know. Because I say that all the time. Let me tell you something. I'm like, look, man, let me tell you something. I say that during my conversations. You probably hear me say it in the podcast. You probably hear me on the episode saying it. I don't know. I haven't really been paying attention. It's one of those things. You know how we got those things that we say and do without knowing we say and do it? So that's one of those things where I'll just say it and don't even be knowing that I said it. You know what I'm saying? But look, anyway, 3rd episode. Glad y'all here. Everybody who comment, everybody who liked it. I appreciate all that. It makes me feel special. It makes me feel like somebody loves me. You know what I'm saying? And I appreciate that. I got people who be like, man, I was watching you, and I know damn well you wasn't watching a goddamn thing. I I know you. It be like, and I'm not saying that like I just have like this total uh pessimistic view of things of people not paying attention or caring or anything like that. It's just when you know your people. Like everybody, you know your people. I know my people, and I know who's going to watch this shit. I know who's going. Like for instance, I didn't reference my brother in both episodes saying how I want my brother to do the podcast with me because I know if we did the podcast together, it'd be real cool. But I know this nigga's not watching this shit. You know what I'm saying? Like he's just that type of person. Like he don't, he's not a supportive person. He's not watching this shit. I know he ain't. So, but oh yeah, I seen your podcast. Like, how the fuck you didn't? Shut up. You know what I'm saying? Stop lying. Watch out, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, get the fuck on, man. But anyway, man, I wanted to talk about on this episode, bruh. That's a couple things I want to talk about. But one of the things I want to talk about, a lot of people don't know who this is. A lot of people do know who this is. If you're Chicago, you about know who these people are. But Skinbone and Zaviah, I think I saying the name right. Zaviah, I don't think it's Zaviah. I've been saying Zaviah, but I don't know. But I'm gonna just Zaviah. I think it's Zaviah. Skinbone, Big Homie Blocks, Zaviah. The man okay, so Big Homie Blocks and Zaviah are married. And they get into it a lot. They always going back and forth. I believe they did this shit like last year or 2 years ago where they just had everybody thinking they was gonna get a divorce or whatever. But I think that this is like their thing. I think this is like, oh, this is gonna get us views. This is gonna get people talking about us. This time feels a little different, but hey, you never know. The internet make people do crazy things. And they've been getting into it a lot lately. She been really disrespectful. He been trying to. I don't know. I can't really say. I don't really see him too much. I see her more than I see him. But I don't know if he's been disrespectful. Maybe he has been disrespectful. I'm not taking it away from him. But from what I've been seeing, it seemed like he just been really just trying to, like get some logic out of this situation when it come down to her. But she's been calling him a bitch, telling him this and this and that, woo up the band, whatever. You know what I'm saying? But Skinbone, a lot of people know what Skinbone is. He's heavy on the comedy side in Chicago. This nigga called Zaviah a bitch. Straight up. And it was so I think it was funny because the way he said it was like, man, somebody come get this bitch about it. It was like basically like that. Like the man called her a bitch. He was having a conversation with her on live. You know, they was talking, and I'm guessing he's trying to be the voice of reason because uh, her and Big Homie Blocks keep getting into it. But you know, she didn't want to hear it. You know, I ain't trying to hear that shit. You know, I know that I heard her call this man a gay and all that a few times before he said it. But it's like nobody heard that. You know, all they heard was this nigga call her a bitch and get off the thing. Like y'all, you know, and he said it so like, man, you know, whatever. You know, I mean, look, I ain't saying nobody gotta like nobody, but when Skinbone called her a bitch, it rubbed me the wrong way. That's kind of some feminine shit. I ain't going front. As a man, if you got a problem with somebody, stand on it and say what the issue is without throwing around names like that. That's how I feel. But at the same time, I also feel like she too, you know what I'm saying? She got a lot of this going on and rough with it and real like she be real turnt. And the only reason I say what I just said is because it seemed like that works for them. You know, I believe that when you create this environment, you gotta live there. You know what I'm saying? And this work, not her and Skinbone, but her and her husband, Big Homie Block. It's like they created this where she gonna flip out, she gonna go crazy, she gonna say this, and he would be like, "Oh no, man!" Like he'd be like, "Man, gone. I can't do it. I'm not good at it." But I see like how he go about it a lot, and it's like it's pretty funny, but it's like that's the environment you created. You know, you got to deal with that. When I come from calling a woman out her name, don't make you look tough or stronger. Where I come from, calling a woman out her name don't make you look tough or stronger. If anything, can make you look emotional. You feel me? You can disagree with somebody all you won't, be mad at somebody, but you still got to keep a certain level of respect. You know what I'm saying? Especially when you do it out of anger. You know, if that's not you, it's kind of rough to to not look emotional when you do it. You know what I'm saying? That's why I wasn't feeling it. Everybody got their own opinion, but to me, calling Zaviah a bitch, it just wasn't it. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't play. It definitely wasn't necessary. Came from more of an emotional, you know, than anything else. But at the same time, you act like a bitch, you a bitch, you get called a bitch. It is what it is. You're a bitch. Stop being a bitch. You know, I don't even know if I'm supposed to be saying this many times. I said it a bunch of times. I haven't seen what was acceptable on YouTube. Maybe I need to relax on the bit. I must just say the bit. But if you act like a bit, then you get called a bit. That brings me to my next subject, though. I ain't even gonna hold you. That brings me to my next subject. Drake and Sauce Walka. You know what I'm saying? That so what I seen with that was Sauce Walka girl messing with Drake and and Sauce Walka girl's messing with Drake. Drake take care of her, he spend money on her and all that. You know, all that. And I'm guessing Sauce Walka knew about it or whatever. Cause when I understand Sauce Walka, he pee. You know what I'm saying? And I guess that was like, you know, and I guess she wanted the joints. And, you know, when you a P, your joint, she jointing. You know, you gotta be a P about it. You know, I don't think it was more of an emotional thing. I wouldn't expect it to be an emotional thing. You know, you got your baby, you got your joint, you got one of your O's pregnant and had a baby by him. Is it still considered a O? Is that still considered your O? Is that still considered P? You know, I don't know. You know, I mean, you know, there's some new age stuff, I guess. I guess I'm not really too familiar with the culture to have an opinion on that too much because I look at it like, I mean, because I grew up doing what I do too. I ain't never been no pink suit wearing motherfucker, nothing like that, but when you young and you a player, you got your situations. You do what you do. You fuck with women. You get them to take care of you. You get them to do things for you. That's P, if you ask me. It's like, but again, I'm not into the culture. I'm not deep and nothing like that. But I felt like I feel like, and I'm pretty sure a lot of other people feel like it. You don't get them pregnant. You don't have a baby with them. You starting a family with them basically, and you ain't supposed to do that. You know what I'm saying? But that's what he did. That's we passed that, whatever. And I guess I'm still the P. That's still my whatever, right? But Drake, everybody know who Drake is. Super get in there and mess up the situation. He one of them niggas. If you ask me, he comes from okay. Well, I'm gonna get to that, but let me slow down. That's what he do. A lot of time when he don't like people, he going, they girl, you know what I'm saying? And if that's what you're gonna do, then a lot of niggas do that. That's a lot of things. Me personally, that's never been my thing. It's never been my, oh, I'm mad at this nigga. I finna go, his girl. No, I mean, I don't see the retaliation. I don't see how retaliating with that as a tactic it's P. If anything, it's like, you know what I'm saying? Because now you fresh behind her. You fresh behind him. Girls too, you fresh behind her. I don't know. I guess it's different with girls. I don't know. But with niggas, I feel like that's something that, you gotta, it's like, whatever. But he was buying her cars. I guess he bought her a Maybach or I think it was a Maybach or something like that. But I think, from what I understand, Sauce Walka and beat the motherfucker up. I heard it was a conversation where Sauce Walka was like, "Oh, I'm gonna kill this nigga Drake," like he was, saying over emotional. I feel like when you do that, they won, man. They won, bro. Like, don't get emotional over no nigga doing no nigga shit. You know what I'm saying? Because now you lost and they won. You know what I'm saying? Like, how do it make Sauce Walka look in my eyes? That make him look kind of weak. You know what I'm saying? I'm a Sauce Walka fan, though. I ain't gonna lie. I fuck with some Sauce Walka songs, and everybody love Drake. Drake's never really been the guy who I super mess with, though. I'm not even gonna lie. I got a lot of friends that I ain't got a lot of friends, but I got friends who I get into it with still to this day because I have a love-hate relationship with Drake. I've never been on the Drake fandom. Like, it's never been one of those things where it was like, oh, I fuck with Drake, I fuck with Drake. Never been like that because there's just certain things about Drake don't sit well with me. Never sat well with me. I can't get behind the whole, over emotional, that the whole I'm a mess your girl when, I don't like I feel like that comes from the Diddy cloth. And if you're gonna call Diddy weird, you might as well call that nigga weird because that's from the Diddy cloth, you know what I'm saying? But whatever, that's a whole nother conversation. It's something else that Drake do that never really sit well with me. I was having a conversation with my nigga Juan. Juan, he's my man. Shout out to Juan. Shout out the podcast they got going on over there. I think it's Three Rights, Make a Left. I gotta figure it out. I don't want to butcher it on here, but that's my man's. They got a podcast. They doing their thing. I'm gonna go ahead eventually. I'm gonna get the information and give it to y'all. But I was having a conversation with him where he was telling me, well, I was talking to him about how it's certain things about Drake I don't get with. Like, I don't understand. I don't like the whole going back and forth. He dropped the whole album, this and all them, everybody and all this. And don't get me wrong, lyrically, the album doing this thing. It's one of those things where when it came out the day of, I was at work. I work overnight. And, I was excited about it because, I do mess with Drake music to a certain degree. Don't get me wrong. Like I said, I got a love-hate relationship with him. I don't totally dislike him. But that album was like, I liked the album when it came out. Now it's like, okay, I don't dislike it, but I don't think I'm listening to it as much as I did. You know what I'm saying? Because it was like, which is another reason why it bothers me when people compare this nigga to Michael Jackson. I can't get with that. But hold on, let me get back to the Drake and Sauce Walka shit. I feel like that comes with the territory. If you gonna be all right with it, then stay all right with it. Getting all emotional, talking about how, oh, I don't like this nigga, I'm gonna kill him. That's super displeasing to me. Super displeasing. You can't be doing that because now you lost and that man won. You know what I'm saying? Especially if it's beef. If it's beef between y'all, you didn't yourself out of the beef. You a from here on out. And that's how I feel about that. You know what I'm saying? He gotta, you gotta. But it looked like he's still winning. It looked like, yo, this, because I guess he dropped his evidence or whatever. And it's like, man, look, any money this nigga bring around, you breaking me off of it, which is P. You know what I'm saying? You know, like, and that's how it's supposed to go, if you ask me. You know, if you're gonna do what you're gonna do, especially if you under that title, then this is how it's gonna go. But that makes Drake look like the loser to me too, because it's like, you know, this is what's going on, right? Yeah, I don't care. I mean, you know, I still love her. Like, that's how I be feeling like Drake responds is be to when people ask these questions to him. Do people ask you these questions, bro? Because if you do and you coming off with these answers, it's like, what? What? Like, nigga, what? That make you look like a goofy, a big super goofy. You know what I'm saying? But whatever, man. But while we on the Drake situation, I hate when people compare Drake to Michael Jackson. Stop doing that. First of all, you can't compare nobody to Michael. If you going to compare anybody to Michael Jackson, there's only two people you compare Michael Jackson to. The first person being the dark skinned Michael Jackson. If you're going to compare light skinned Michael Jackson, somebody needs to be the dark skin. Dark skin might go win. I feel like all the hits came when he was dark skinned. So boom. But if the second person gotta be Prince, like, it has to be Prince. You cannot compare nobody to Michael Jackson if it ain't Prince. And I don't even think Prince fucking with Mike. We didn't have this conversation before. But Drake, definitely. Stop comparing Drake to this nigga. Stop. Stop. Please stop. I hate it. You know what I'm saying? Like, Drake might got the number ones, but let's be real, it's easy to get these number one. Well, it ain't easy for me, but it's not the same. These niggas just gotta cut their phone on. I don't even think niggas gotta listen to the song to get a song of view. I think you go look at a TikTok video, the song playing in the TikTok video, they got a view. Back then, you had to go to the record store. Niggas was going to the record store to get Michael's music. Niggas in Japan is falling out over Michael music. Nobody's doing that for Drake. Nobody is doing that for Drake. And then on top of that, Mike ain't lose to no Kendrick Lamar. Mike ain't lose to Prince. He ain't lose. You know what I'm saying? He ain't even lose to these allegations they keep on hitting them with. Because niggas still love this man. They still love him. I went to go see the Michael movie. I loved it. I was in that motherfucker moonwalking. Sorry. You know what I'm saying? Drake ain't doing that. I'm not finna go to no Drake movie and do the Tootsie slide. No. I wasn't doing the moonwalk neither, but you feel me? Wait, now, that was that. Something else I wanted to talk about too. What else I wanted to talk about? People keep on tripping to me about what I said about Beyonce. About like R. Kelly. First of all, I get it. I understand. We had this conversation, but y'all keep talking to me about it, so I want to address it. No, I don't think anybody could be R. Kelly in the verses battle. I made the video. I said what I said, but I don't personally think anybody could beat R. Kelly in the verses battle. What I said was, I think those people are close. And let's be real. You can't defend somebody without y'all can't defend somebody without knocking somebody. I can. And for the people who can't defend people without knocking people, bro, stop knocking Beyonce. That's crazy. It is super duper crazy to me to see all these people knock Beyonce. To defend R. Kelly is wild. You know what I'm saying? I get it. R. Kelly is R. Kelly, whatever. But yo, Beyonce is Beyonce, my nigga. She's Beyonce. You know what I'm saying? She's Beyonce. We got that's it. She's Beyonce. Solidified. They ain't no, you know what I'm saying? Beyonce, man. Nah, G, you can't knock her. You can't make it seem like Beyonce ain't her. She ain't did that. She ain't made all these songs, Dangerously in Love, Lemonade, all these albums, and it's like, and it ain't even a gang of albums. It's just that's that ish. She's her. You know what I'm saying? She's her. You know, like, no, she ain't R. Kelly is R. Kelly, but let's be real. Chocolate Factory. I'll say TP3.com. If TP3 came out after Chocolate Factory, then I'll say TP3. But it really depends on which one of those albums came out first. But let's say Chocolate Factory came out first, then TP3, which I believe that's what happened. Nigga, after TP3, what other R. Kelly songs we really was like? We were still listening to songs here and there. But bro, that nigga ain't been R. Kelly since TP3. But it's enough hits from TP3 all the way back to what's that, Born in the 90s, where he can go up there and he can solidify himself in a 20 joint hits. Ain't nobody killing me. I got this. You know what I'm saying? But after that, people weren't really rocking with that man like that. You know what I'm saying? People keep saying free R. Kelly, which is wild to me. That's crazy. But the fact that people keep saying that is because they got the nostalgia over albums that this nigga came out with before 2007 and 8 and all that. Like, boom, all the way back there. So, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Beyonce is still going. She ain't stopping no time soon. Beyonce, and she was doing it back then, too. So, Beyonce is it. Unless Beyonce go down for some allegations, you know what I'm saying? She's still it. She doing what she doing. I don't think she's gonna go down for no allegations no time soon. What else I wanted to talk about? So I been seeing. Hold on, I had notes. Let me make sure. I'm saying the right thing. Y'all gotta bear with me. Uh, uh, hold on. I wanted to talk about this. I keep seeing. Okay, this is something I wanted to talk about. Growing up without a father. I was talking to somebody the other day about what it felt like growing up without a father, or what it feels like for a lot of people to grow up without a father. Growing up without a father, this ain't one of those stories where I'm looking for pity or anything like that. You know what I'm saying? I'm not asking people to feel sorry for me. I'm just telling the truth about what it feels like growing up without a father. A lot of people live through it, but not everybody knows how to explain it. And honestly, some of us go our whole lives pretending like it doesn't affect us. It really does. You know what I'm saying? Whether you realize it at 5 years old or 35 years old, it changes something inside of you to be walking this earth without a father. I see too many people like, okay, because in our community, it's common. I mean, I'm pretty sure it's common in everybody's community, you know, but I can only speak for mine. But it's common to be a fatherless child. You know, it's a lot of people out here and it affects them. When men, when you're growing up with just a woman in your life, that could affect you heavy. That could be an issue. You know what I'm saying? I remember looking around at other families and noticing little things, the way fathers pick their kids up from school, the way they taught them how to ride bikes, the way they yelled at them, laughed at them, checked them when they were wrong, protected them when the world got cold, even hearing other kids say, my dad said used to hit different for me because I didn't have those moments. You know what I'm saying? I didn't have those moments. My pops, I mean, from what I understand, my pops left when I was like 1 years old. I guess it's because, you know, he was getting into it with my mom a lot, or he cheated on my mom. And, you know, and don't get me wrong, a lot of women, and I'm pretty sure this is how the situation was with my mama, but a lot of, because I seen, matter of fact, I know why I said this, because I seen somebody said that, oh, I think it was TK Kirkland. He said that a lot of women keep their child, a lot of fathers aren't in their children's lives because the mother is trying to prove a point. And I totally agree with that. Now, I love my mama, RIP, the GOAT. She was the greatest. I love her. I miss her every day. But I think that could possibly be what was on my mama mind, trying to prove a point. But I really can't say that neither because, and I had this argument with my brothers. I had this argument a lot with people. I can't say that because my mama, my grandma, for instance, my grandma had the same number for years. When it was a landline, that was my grandma's number. And my dad knew that number. You know what I'm saying? My grandma didn't get a cell phone till a couple years before she passed away, which was in 2013. You know what I'm saying? I think it was 2013. Yeah, but 2013, that's when my grandma got a cell phone. I was 24 in 2013. So and by then I didn't reconnected with my dad, but that whole time up from 24 up until when I was a child, he could have got in touch with us. He just chose not to, which is what niggas do, which is what dads do. You know what I'm saying? They move how they move. You know what I'm saying? But there's no excuse with the whole. I can't use that. Oh, my mom was trying to prove a point that she was doing this as a cop out for him, because like I said, he had access to me. He decided that he wanted to live in California while we stayed in Chicago. And when I tell you, we've been through a lot. We was going through a lot, in and out of shelters. I was in shelters. I was in shelters damn near my whole elementary life, elementary school life. I went to school with kids not knowing. My mama knew how to dress us. She knew how to dress the situation very well. So people didn't really know we was out there, living in them shelters, homeless and shit. But and then, I was good at being normal. I was good at, keeping that concealed. You know what I'm saying? But, we was doing our thing. We was out there, boy. We was out there in them shelter streets. And my dad, he knew about a lot of that stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like my dad had the mentality that a lot of guys have, where if I'm not with her, or if I'm not around, then it's not my responsibility or not. And I don't know how to feel about that. Because I do feel like it was my mom's responsibility, but at the same time, I feel like this nigga didn't. He wanted me. I'm named after him. You know what I'm saying? Like he wanted, and he's no longer here. God bless the dead. You know what I'm saying? R.I.P. to him. But he wanted me. From what I understand, like even after, like, cause I knew him. I did know him. I'm not saying I didn't know him. You know what I'm saying? But I know that he wanted me, and I get. You know how you hear people, oh, he tried. I don't think my pops tried like that. Like, I mean, like his family would feel different. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not mad at them or whatever, but I'm his child. God damn it! So to argue with me about it is crazy, but I don't know. I just feel like he didn't do his thing, and I still hold on to that. It don't bother me as much. If anything, I feel like it's like one of those templates that I have, because I like to think that I'm a great father, or I try to do. I do my best. Uh, Both of my oldest kids graduated out of high school. My second daughter graduated out of high school like last weekend or the weekend before last, but she did her thing. Proud of her. Shout out to you, Courtney. Uh, I'm proud of her. Super proud of her. Very. She's a great kid. And my youngest kids, 15, 10, and 3, they love me. They be around us. I'm big dad in the house. We like I got that title held high, hanging up in the Raptors of the fucking Knicks stadium. Like, my kids love me. I try the best I can to be a good father. I'm doing everything I can do. I spoil them, all that. You know what I'm saying? Proud of them. But like I said, man, I mean, I'm not mad at him. I don't hate him, but I do know that, you know, whatever, you know. But that right there, I just feel like that affects a child. I wish that guys would, but what I will say is this later generation is, I see more fathers around than I did when I was younger. I grew up in the 90s and them niggas was gone. And I grew up in the projects. They was gone, boy. They wasn't there. Was a lot of moms in there, moms and kids. Wasn't a lot of dads around. A lot of stepdads or a lot of niggas looking for places to stay. But, pops wasn't really around that much. They wasn't around there. They had like no dad allowed signs hung up. That's what it felt like. You know what I'm saying? But I will say this generation is doing their thing. They doing their thing. I think niggas should get a lot of credit. Father's Day is coming up. I think niggas should get credit. The fathers that's there, they need to get their credit. You know what I'm saying? They need to be getting their credit. I hope that you mothers are appreciating these niggas, because they really trying. A lot of us is really trying. A lot of us is like, we got those silent cries, those silent battles, all that. We trying to do our thing though. I know I am. I feel like I get appreciation from my kids too. You know, my son, I love him dearly. But Father's Day coming up, man. Get that nigga a threesome. Yup. He deserve it. He deserve it. Happy Father's Day. Check it out. I'm finna end this podcast. My son just walked in. What's up, man? Come here. Give me a hug. That's crazy. I'm talking about him, and he just got here. Come on. So this big dog, Cass, this Kai right here, said, "What's up?" You know what I'm saying? But this is the end of the podcast. I appreciate y'all tuning in again for a third episode. I'm grateful, very grateful. I want to do probably three. Oh man, you want to chill. I'm grateful for y'all. Appreciate y'all listening. Comment, keep on commenting, follow, like, subscribe. Let's have this conversation. Whatever y'all hear and y'all want to talk about, I try to respond. I'm grateful for everybody who does that. I'm very grateful. We having a good time over here. You know what I'm saying? Mess with your boy. Mess with Kai. Say, hey, say I love y'all. You heard him? He love y'all too. Keep coming back. Third episode over with. Thanks for stopping by. Yeah.